Hello Terraria enthusiasts, my name is James, and a few months ago I made a video talking about my top 5 favourite bosses in Terraria. But you guys want to know where the rest of the bosses ranked up, and since I don't do top 10 lists, it leaves a space of about 7 or 8 bosses left over. So I thought I would compile them and make a list of my top 5 favourite bosses out of a list of ones that are not my top 5 favourite bosses. So let's begin. So starting in the number 5 slot is the King Slime. Now I really do like this fight, and I feel like it's a perfect upgrade to what Terraria is. You see, you start off fighting itty bitty slimes, and that first slime is probably the thing that's going to kill you your first time. And then you fight this big slime. You fight the king of slimes. You fight the guy who sent the slimes in the first place, and is huge. And I love that. I love that aspect of it. However, I feel like he's a bit of a sponge. Hear me out on this. So he basically just kind of like flops around, and you shoot at him or you stab him or anything, and he doesn't really react. It's not really the best of bosses, but it is actually a really good fight to look at, I guess. So yeah, I really like the King Slime, and I really like the drops. I love the slime mount. However, it never made it into my top 5 favourite list because it's boring, I guess. I don't know. Now in the number 4 slot is Skeletron. Now Skeletron, if I was to talk about my top 5 favourite bosses when there was only 3 of them, being the Eye of Cthulhu, the Eater of Worlds, and Skeletron would definitely be my favourite. It looks badass, it swings its arms around, it's a skeleton, what can you say? It's pretty cool. However, when new bosses were added, it kind of just started slowly ranking down in my lists. It's still a great fight, and it is still challenging to some. It just never made the top 5 list. However, I do like some of the drops now that it actually has drops. Before it just used to drop a little bit of coin, and one of the best things it does is give you access to the dungeon. And I really like that's the kind of like the only storyline in Terraria. It's that this clothier, this old man, is guarding the dungeon. He's had a curse on him, and that's all we know. And that's what makes it a pretty interesting fight. Number 3 on my list is one that I often forget about. I very rarely ever fight this thing. It's the Queen Bee. However, I do actually really like this fight. It reminds me of the Binding of Isaac, and I'll explain. Basically, one of the 2 attacks that it actually does is charge at you, and it charges so fast that you can't even move, and that just reminds me of the Girdings or something from Binding of Isaac. And I actually think it's a pretty fun fight. I really like that it drops the Bee Vanity outfit since Waffles made it. And I like that it adds a little bit of extra life into the jungle, because the jungle was kind of lacking. Yeah, I'd say it's definitely one of my top 5 favourite out, but not top 5 favourite. It is actually a really fun fight, and I do recommend trying it if you've not tried it before. Most of the people just overlook this, go straight from pre-hard mode to hard mode, and completely just forget about this thing. Worth going to look for, has some great items. In the number 2 slot is controversial. It's Terraria the Ungrateful. Now most of you haven't even heard about this boss fight. Well, I imagine so. And that's because it's a mobile slash, it's not even a console exclusive, it's just a mobile exclusive. However, I really like this fight. Now, it's unique. That's what I like about it. So you originally start this fight and it's a pretty well done turkey. And then it shoots out 2 heads and you've got to kill the heads. So you can't attack its body really because it only does 1% damage. But if you attack the heads, then you can go for the body. And then, when you think it's all good, you know, it's not really attacking you, you're just swinging away at the body, more heads pop out. That's what I love. It's actually so unique in a way because it's only for the mobile. It's made by a different studio, Code Blue or Code Glue, I can't remember the name. And it has this new pattern, and I really like that. Terraria, you've done pretty well, and it's a shame I don't fancy Thanksgiving over here, but you've made it onto the list. Now, in the number 1 slot is a boss that I was so excited to see, and it's just so underwhelming these days, but it's damn fine. It's Skeletron Prime. So I absolutely love this boss. I really do love this boss. I think it's awesome. I think the whole idea of mechanical bosses are awesome. And I really did like this fight. I loved it. I thought it was really challenging. I thought it was unique. Until one day, somebody turned around and said, wait a minute. Isn't it just a reskinned Skeletron? And then it hit me. So it is. However, that inner glee inside of me makes me love it. Either way, I remember being sat, I was in school at the time, and I was just flicking through YouTube. I was supposed to be in class when the day 1.1 came out, and I saw this new boss fight getting absolutely butchered by Urimir, and I was like, damn, I can't wait to fight this thing. And it's the last of, basically, if you play 1.1, it's the last thing you'll face, so it's very, very challenging. Now with 1.2, everything's a little bit overwhelmed when it comes to stuff like this, but it's still a badass fight. I love its drops, I love the fight in general. Oh, it's such a good fight. And I now have a big teddy of it, thanks to the people that sent me that, so that's pretty awesome. So there you go, that's about it. That's where the rest of the bosses rank up on my list. If you'd like to see more top 5 lists, make sure to stay subscribed for all the latest Terraria news, reviews, top 5 lists, and anything else you can think of. I currently have a new Let's Play going on, and we're getting prepared for the next big Terraria update, so it's worth checking that out. And yeah, so thank you all for watching. My name is James. If you'd like to see more top 5 lists, where I talk about some of the ones that I missed on my actual top 5 list, let me know in the description below which ones you'd like to see additions to. I've done some things like swords, vanity outfits, potions, and basically a range of other things. So have a flick through, see what you think, let me know. Thank you all for watching. Peace.